So in this session we are going to see the analysis of forces in top chord members, right? Analysis of forces for top chord members. So this is an N-type truss supported on both the sides, right? So in the top chord member, that is U1, U0, U1, U1, U2, U2, U3, U3, U4, and other are symmetric. So we are going to calculate the forces in the top chord members that are there at the top. This is also called compression members also, because if you see the deflected shape of this, if I draw the deflected shape of this, it will deflect something like this. The top part will deflect like this, the bottom part will deflect like this, right? So bottom chord members will be under tension and the top chord members will be under compression. So either I can say top chord members or the compression members. So we are going to find out the forces in compression members, that is also called as top chord members. Now the method that I am going to use for analysis of forces is the moving load method, right? So let us do that, because we are having this as a moving load. So to analyze the moving loads, right, generally this is used, the bridges are used for the pedestrians, right? So those are moving objects, so load will be moving load. So influence line diagram, right, IDL or ILD, influence line diagram, this method we will be using for solving the forces. Now let us calculate the forces in top chord members. So forces in top chord members, so these are generally the compression members. So just note down compression members. Right, these are compression members. So we need to find the height of UD, influence line diagram, right? So height of influence line diagram, the formula for height of influence line diagram, it is given by A into L minus A divided by L into H. Okay. So A into L minus A divided by L into H. Now what is A? So A is, what is A? A is, for this figure, A will be the width of panel. A is the width of panel, that is 3 meter. What is L? L for this is the total length, right? So L is 24 meter. Right, so we are doing it for U0, U1, right? For U0, U1 member, for U0, U1 member, A is 3 meter, L is 24 meter. Then we have H. So H is the height of that truss or height of the member, so which is again 3 meter, right? So H is again 3 meters. So if we substitute all these values in this, we will get the height of our member. So 3 multiplied by 24 minus 3 divided by 24 multiplied by 3. So if you solve this, you will get your height as 0.875. You will get your height as 0.875. So height of influence line diagram. Now I need to draw the influence line diagram at the end of U0, U1, right? So U0, U1 member is this. So I need to project this, right? So I need to draw a diagram which is called influence line diagram, and I need to draw a triangle like this. So this height, this point height will be 0.875. This is for U0, U1, influence line diagram for U0, U1. So this is called influence line diagram for U0, U1 member. Now we need to take some sign convention. So positive, compression is positive, tension is negative. So this is in compression, so we write it here positive. Compression positive, tension negative, that is the sign convention we are taking. So similarly, next we need to calculate the height for U1, U2. We need to calculate height for U1, U2, right? So now let us calculate for U1, U2. Height for U1, U2. So height will be equal to, so what is A for U1, U2? What is A for u1 u2. So a4 u1 u2 is the distance from the ends, left hand side support. So from this point, how much distance is there up to u2? So which is a is 6 meter, length is same, 24 minus 6 divided by 24 into 3. This is 6 here. Your a is 6. How we calculate a? A is the distance from the left hand or origin, right? Distance from the origin up to the end of the member. So up to u2, the total length is 6 meter, right? So if we calculate this, we will get this value as 1.5. Similarly, we calculate for u2, u3. Height will be, now for u2, u3, your a will become 9, all the other values will remain same. So 9 multiplied by 24 minus 9 divided by 24 multiplied by 3. So if you calculate this, you will get your height as 1.875, and for last u3, u4 member, for u3, u4, height will be equal to, for u3, u4, height will be equal to, up to u4, what will be the a value? A value will be 12, right? A value will be 12. So what change here? You get 12 multiplied by 24 minus 12 divided by 24 multiplied by 3. So we'll get this answer as 2. So now once we get the heights, once we get all the heights, I need to draw the diagram, right? So for second member, when I draw the diagram, I need to project it downward. This is for second member, for third member, and for the last member. Other side it will be symmetrical, right? So let's draw the diagram for the second member, that is u1, u2. So I need to draw a triangle like this, and the value for u1, u2 I am getting it as 1.5. So this will be 1.5, and this is IDL for u1, u2. This is again positive because it is in comparison, right? Next, I need to draw a diagram for next member, that is u2, u3. So third member, so triangle will be like this, and the value here I am getting as 1.875. So this is ILD for u2, u3, again it is positive. And for the last, for u3, u4 member, I need to draw a triangle up to the center member like this. This value will be 2, it will be positive, and this is ILD for u3, u4. So this is how you draw the influence line diagram. This is how you draw the influence line diagram and find out the, after drawing the influence line diagram, we need to find out the forces in these members, right? So let us see how to find out the forces in these members. So forces in the member will be equal to area of influence line diagram multiplied by total UDL. So let us find out the forces. Let's find out the forces. So force will be equal to area of ILD multiplied by area multiplied by total UDL. Total UDL. So total UDL we already calculated in the previous session. So refer that, you get that value from there. So now let us find out for each and every member. So force in U0, U1. Force in U0, U1. P U0, U1. Let us find out area of this triangle. We need to find out area of this triangle. So which is 1/2 24 multiplied by 0.875. 1/2 multiplied by 24 multiplied by 0.875. This is your triangle. 24 is the length and height is 0.875, and multiplied by total UDL that we calculated was 26.6. Multiplied by 26.6. So if you calculate this, you will get your force in member U0 U1 as 279.3 kilonewton, 279.3 kilonewton, and this will be compressive force. Similarly, force in U1 U2, similarly force in U1 U2. So we need to calculate the area of the second triangle that we have drawn from the influence line diagram of U1 U2. So 1/2 24 multiplied by 1.5, 1/2 multiplied by 24 multiplied by 1.5. 1.5 is the height of this triangle, and multiplied by 26.6. So if you calculate this, you will get your force in U1 U2 as 478.8 kilonewton, 478.8 kilonewton, and this will be again compressive force. Moving forward, force in U2 U3 will be 1/2, base is 24, and height of this triangle now, which is 1.875 multiplied by 26.6. So you will get your value for U2 U3 as 598.5 kilonewton, 598.5 kilonewton. It is in compression. And last member U3 U4, force in U3 U4. So again it is 1/2, base is 24 into height is 2 multiplied by 26.6. So if you calculate this, you will get your answer as 638.4 kilonewton, 638.4 kilonewton. This will be in compression. Alright, so this is how you can calculate the forces in top chord members. So now the practical tip, right? So suppose if you are doing the design practically, and you observe this type of forces U1 U2 U2 U3 U3 U2 U3 U3 U4. So what you can observe from this, as you go nearer to the center, the compression force is increasing. The compression force is increasing. What does this mean? Suppose if I am doing the design of this member, the forces are higher, right? So there are chances that this section will be heavier, and as I go near to the end, say last point U0 U1, for last point U0 U1, what I can see is the force is almost half compared to the maximum value. It is almost half, right? So this is how you can observe whether your calculations are correct or not, right? So we complete our calculation for top chord forces, right? In the next session, we are going to calculate the forces in the bottom chord forces, alright? So keep practicing, keep learning. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next session.